Ba-doom.
So, Frater, I really kind of thought about it. Maybe since we work for Doc Manny, maybe we should complain to him about the Black Scorpion.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I don't think he would want, his new show to, be ruined by a guy in a crazy mask. Yeah, that makes sense. I'll call up Doc Matty. Boop, 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 boop. Hey, Diddy-o, how's it chillin'? How's it going? I'm Mr. Tricky Guy. Doc Matty. Hey, Daddy-o, what's it up? What's going on? What's cool, cat? We're getting some problems with this guy called the Black Scorpion. Have you heard of him? Daddy-o, I not heard of no such man in my life at all. So, let me get the point. What is going on? Well, we Mr. Peck is still gone. Well, Daddy-o, I don't like that. You're down a man. You need a man. Unfortunately, here at Metrekica, everybody's sort of tied to their projects and the terms of service. So talk to me about the Black Scorpion. Okay, so Black Scorpion is a guy in a black helmet and black mask, with red trim on it. And he comes around talking all Shakespearean and threatening us. And in the past, it used to be this guy, Mr. Pennypacker, who used to pretend to be Mr. Peck. And he would dress up as the Black Scorpion to scare us. And well, that's some interesting information. I really like that information a lot. Yeah, that's useful. Well, understand, Daddy-o. I mean, maybe just give it any orders he has to say. Just understand that. Okay, click. Well,
Frater, that wasn't very helpful.
no, no, no.
Oh, so I'm gonna kind of state it. Mr. Beck's not here, but the Black Scorpion appeared yesterday.
Yeah, Mr. Peck wasn't here.
Yeah, Mr. Beck wasn't here, but the Black Scorpion was here. You remember what happened last time, right?
Starting to. I just want to say, uh, this is really crazy. We're battling this guy. It's just the three of us. Yeah, we're basically like the neighborhood kids, basically. you know, I don't think Gus Gunther would help us.
We gotta burn down his house 5-8 times. I don't think he wants to really talk to us.
Yeah, it's kind of like the boy who cried wolf in a way.
It really is, Rainer. Yeah, we're kind of screwed.
Uh, so, well, we gotta have to just kind of hope, Mr. Peck is seen, and well, just gotta look for the computer here, and what? What is it? Some kind of travel site or something? And just some guy walking around in the background. And
I think that's Mr. Peck.
what it does? It kind of looks like Mr. Peck in that picture, but it's like a travel picture. Like wait, so he might be still out there somewhere. Yeah, maybe he really has kind of taken off, and he's just sort of wandering around and.
Maybe he is soul searching or going on a trip. God, maybe he just needs a break from us.
I kind of can understand how someone could get burned out on us. What do you mean? Well, yeah, I mean, that's not good, But yeah, you guys are making a good point, like last time it was Mr. Peck who was the Black Scorpion. And really, I don't know of anyone else being ever the Black Scorpion but him, but that was back when Mr. Pennypacker was impersonating him.
Well, that is true, that, I mean,
I don't think Mr. Pennypacker has access to this world,
no, he doesn't have access anymore.
He, I don't know. Billy, you've had very little to say. Well, don't worry about it. It's kind of a short little episode, but we got some classic gaming, we got some games we've done since the last episode that kind of give like kind of add to the namesake of the show, and some of the games we've been playing, have they're 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 not like retro, but they're kind of still old, but these few games they're truly retro, so we'll get on with that and do that now. And we are playing Miss Pac-Man. Well, we're getting into some real classics, you know. Yeah, we're getting into some real classics now, like I know in the past, I kind of when we came on Metrek, I was kind of like, well, we're not really playing. Since we'll play a retro themed game, like, wow, Arcade Paradise is a modern game, but it's a retro themed one. So it's understandable how we can kind of get away with that. But at the same time, oh man, is it one of those shows, Frater, where you've only like had so much sleep or something? Yeah, one of those things. Yeah, it's like a retro theme game, but it was kind of nice. I think what people need to understand, home is that I came to the decision to, instead of just picking random games, just go down my Steam list in order. As long as it's not a new game, a really new game. I mean, it could have a retro theme though. I would go with that. Frater, are you playing right now, or is it just in like demo mode or something? Because there's like no sound. That's because we usually mute the video to do the commentary, so we don't have all these other sounds coming through the video. We actually kind of almost forgot to do that last episode. Uh-oh, are we getting a little bit sleepy-headed there? Well, hey, it happens, Here at Saturngrad, we were kind of busy in the morning. Yeah, I can't say what that was about. But, busy with Saturngrad projects and stuff. But, like this is the opportunity to do some work here and put some episodes together. And usually I do that during the week, and then on the weekends we work on the commentary. So Miss Pac-Man is really the first Pac-Man game I ever played. The original Pac-Man, eventually I played that, but Miss Pac-Man was pretty easy to find anywhere. Pac-Man, it's a game. I literally will tell this to you as I was playing this, I was getting better and better at it, and it's a game where it's actually an excellent game to train you to not second guess yourself. That second guess is death. That's actually a good way to train someone at that. Like, that, hey, if you second guess yourself, you're dead. Instantly dead. Because it's like, you have to literally trust your first nature in everything. Sometimes there's these, like, reflex impulses you have that, that really, you need to be on top of your game with this. You can't just, like, you can't second guess it all. That's just it. You have to just trust yourself. You have to just put everything into your first instinct. It's kind of like a fight or flight kind of deal. And when you let it just happen, you might be really surprised how well you adjusted this, but it won't be like right away. It'll just suck for a good while, and then all of a sudden you get a little better, a little better, a little better. These ghosts are very random, and it's all because it's their eyes. It's where their eyes are going. Usually, the thing I do is, I've learned the thing to do is to do the longest pathways first before you go into all the nooks and crannies. Like, go right, go up, go all the way up, because the reason why is because those dots, well, that wasn't good there. That was a lack of reaction. But one of the things you want to do is understand the dots are hindering you. They're slowing you down. They're making you just a little less slow than the ghost, and the ghost will eat you. So you want to get those dots out of there so that you can have the same amount of speed as the ghost. The ghost actually can't catch you if there's no dots in front of you. Those dots are a hindrance to your survival. So you want to, as quickly as possible, to just clear all that. And just get rid of all that. Well, that's true, Frater. Get rid of those hindrances. I admit to you, though, I kind of avoided Pacman, a lot of times in my life. I even though now I own an arcade 1-up 40th anniversary cabinet, and I do respect the game a great deal. It's just it is a very difficult game. I would definitely say for its time, there was nothing like it. That I couldn't imagine the people on Atari when they finally got it. The people on Atari finally got it. They were like, "What the heck is this?" It practically destroyed the console. It was like, if you finally got Super Mario Brothers 3 and it ended up being like that, it would be like it would be the end of Nintendo. So, don't. What do we really commentate about, though? It's like, well, the downside of this era is that what you see is what you got eaten. That's not how you want to start the game off. What you get is what you get. It's mazes and stuff. There's no storyline. I mean, a lot of times what is very refreshing is when you get that little cutscene, and understand cutscenes really weren't things done in video games. So that's kind of, Pac-Man doing that was kind of like the beginnings of some kind of storytelling in video games. Storytelling was just, there was no storytelling. It was just the player versus the monsters and the whatever. It's I'm trying to work on my score, and now I'm dead. So The nooks and crannies take guts. They do take guts, but you gotta clear that area, Another ghost down. Like I said, yeah, you gotta get those long pathways open because they are key to your survival. And that was really dumb. Sometimes the ghosts do something very they'll take a sudden turn or something and you don't know how to react to that. You're just sort of like, whoa, what? The only complaint I have is, wouldn't you kind of agree that the ghosts kind of rubber band you in a way? They kind of do rubber band you in a way. You could kind of see it. There's, that was dumb. That, which is a real kind of negative to it. That they always know where you're at because of a rubber banding issue. So if you're at the far corner of the maze, naturally they feel propelled to go to wherever section of the map you're in. Maybe initially they just, run around like that, but and that's what you do. Well, we gone kind of quiet. Shall we move on? It is what it is. It's a classic, and yeah, because we're trying to make some ground here with all the episodes we're covering and stuff. Where did we ever get in existence on YouTube where we started to just do show after show after show? Yeah, it's speaking out, breaking fourth wall. That I think what it is with this, just with Mechatrekika and Saturngrad and all that stuff. That it's what it is I have this psychology thing going where I believe very strongly that every single human being on the planet is trying to get back to a certain point of where they were there's usually a point of innocence, where they were just doing some kind of basic, but maybe, there was maybe jobs going on at the time and they didn't have the time to really enjoy something, but then the problem, by the time they get to actually do that thing, maybe that thing has been kind of done to death. And for example, I hate to kind of tell you this, Mr. Peck, but once I told you this whole retro thing we do, this is pretty much a done dead deal that's been done dead since 2009 or something like that. The days of Irate Gamer and Angry Video Game Nerd, all that stuff. That stuff is that stuff shot. That horse was shot. That horse. The bones are. It's just bones now. I don't know if it's quite dust, but so what it is a constant attempt to go back to the original show, but you can't. You just can't, because you change as a person. So the idea is, for example, good Frater is all the childlikeness of Frater. He's the child, but then bad Frater's sort of the defensiveness, the skeptic, all those things, and he's kind of a jerk. Because when I was younger, I was a jerk. I wasn't a real nice person, but But then again, they kind of like when you went through the school system, they made you that way. Like all the kids, like I'm being honest, like you wouldn't last in the schools I was in unless you made fun of people. You had to make fun of somebody because then they liked you. You had a sense of humor. That was a sense of humor back then. And then you didn't realize that by the time you became an adult, you realize you're really become a horrible person. And so so Good Frater is like he's a bit of a kid and all that, but he's really kind of loving, and he doesn't, but unfortunately he can't defend himself because he doesn't got that defensiveness, so he has to relearn that and all that. And it's like it's a constant attempt with these videos to try to go back to just that one theme, which was the Frater versus Retro, but then at the same time there's the commentary that really in reality, the more you try to go back to center, the more off center you get, because it's not possible to totally recapture a certain time. It's what is it with like the angry game stuff? Well, there YouTube. I wasn't, look, nobody even knew I existed on YouTube. So that was kind of probably a good thing because, oh my goodness, you got the whole party right behind you. Yeah, I do. Like, you need to understand, if people detected someone was a copycat, man, they would just tear them apart, man. I mean, it was brutal, dude. It was brutal days back then, like, I mean, there was some cases where, it just didn't matter. But that whole thing kind of just died out, and, that was kind of it, well, you gotta admit this is a good topic. I mean, well, it is, just talking about the psychology of the show. I actually admit that the last 50 some episodes I've done, I haven't done anything like this as far as the commentary. I've been trying to keep in some kind of a character, and it's kind of nice to actually kind of break that and just be open about it. I believe everybody's trying to go back to a certain point in their life, that. But then they may realize, that, it's just not possible. It's, you got, so in the case of this show, it's a constant change. I also believe very strongly in like cycles. I believe that, like, we got to make new characters. We got to have new characters replace the old characters, and, the new replace the old, like, it's kind of like, Moses had Aaron. Well, even Aaron got replaced by Eleazar, and it's like, even the Bible has that theme. Outside of God, that really, when it comes to men are flawed, and, that's why you need new people, new people who are like stronger than the old. At that, a lot of times when people get old, they get weak and they make mistakes. So then you get the new people and they're like stronger. I just can't believe we can't ever go back to Sattergrad. It's like, no, we can't ever go back. We're here, We're here. We're not queer, but we're here. Ever since you've heard that line that they say at like protests, you've made fun of that. Yeah, anytime I hear the word "here," I keep thinking of that. It's funny. I don't know. I really am against like people just pushing, just pushing themselves on people so hard. Like, I don't really care what you do, but it's just like, just don't push these things so hard on people, like, like, and then it's worse now. Then they want to like block traffic, and it's like, Like, it's like people's lives are hard enough as it is, you know. I know, and then they're like screaming for things they want to happen in other parts of the world, and it's like, you do realize, right, that that's not. I mean, the country's not going to go to war with those people to make them not do something against their will, you know. Oh, whatever. You'll find as you get older, you become more apolitical. When you're younger, you're extremely political. And then you just like don't want anything to do with that anymore. That's why it's great when you're a kid, because when you're a kid, you can just, you know, you hang out with your friends if you have any friends. I mean, some people don't get lucky with that. And you just play video games and eat chips or eat popcorn and drink Mountain Dew, and that's kind of the theme of the show, actually. There's a little bit of a graphical glitch there. I don't know if that's on the original arcade machine, that you can actually kind of get like a, come back here, Strawberry. Come back. There, right there. Sometimes you can go right through the ghost and it won't kill you. That's kind of weird. That's kind of strange, Frater. That's the theme of the show. This is like the sort of the deep inner child of this show. Is that we just want to be, you know, we don't, when I say be a kid, I don't mean be like not knowing things, you know, because you're a kid, you don't know things, right? You know, you don't, you know, you don't even know where Russia is on a map sometimes. I mean, like some kids, you know, really don't have a sense of, okay, get that strawberry. It's not like it's funny you're talking about all the serious stuff and then all of a sudden, get this strawberry! I get it. Yeah, and it's just like, dude, like you need to understand, there's a part of me that just remembers being in like 4th grade and like, you know, they brought the Mountain Dew in. They brought Mountain Dew in. And for the kids, it was like close to like Thanksgiving and stuff, and having people wear the funny hats on their heads and stuff, and man, there was something so wild about that. So nice times, you know. Not all the time, but you know, like that was a thing. Like, you know, and things are so political. It's like, ugh. It could be worse. You could live in Russia and you don't have any choices at all. I mean, I think the only reason they allow people to vote in that country is to know who to put in prison and who not to put in prison. You know, probably why Stalin even did it that way back in the day. That's about as political as this show's ever going to be. Yeah. But yeah, it's just to go back. It's just go back to when you were a kid. You're sitting around eating chips with your friends and playing Mortal Kombat or something, you know. Like, although it was terrible at Mortal Kombat, but it was a social game. Like, see, I always saw Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter as social games back in the 90s. Like I remember telling someone, like, even if you were terrible at those games, like you had to play them, or else you had no friends to really do anything with, you know, that or playing street hockey. Oh, street hockey. That was that's something, you know, at my age I haven't played in decades. And that's the weird thing as an adult. You'd think that once you get out of school, you have a little more time. You could play more sports or something, and you actually don't really play any sports. I guess there are adult clubs, I guess, but I guess when you think about it, you know, when you have bills to pay and stuff, probably one of the last things you want to know is that you've just gotten injured playing something you weren't paid. I always it was nuts because like I would work with people who literally could quote the amazing sports stats. Like they loved sports stats. There was one guy I worked with at a newspaper mailroom. And that was an interesting little job, although some of the people were kind of like, ugh, a little bit on the negative side. But, like this one guy, and he wasn't like a mean guy or anything. He was kind of, kind of autistic and stuff. But that's like when he was going to get laid off, because they laid everyone off at the time. And that's what he was planning to do with his time. It was just to just study all the sports stats, and it's that was his thing, and really, well, sports really depends on it's a family thing. It is a family thing. Like families came over and they watched the football game or they watched the basketball game, the college games. It's a thing, and the weird thing is, my parents just didn't watch sports. Not even my dad, and it's like probably because I don't know. Like I said, when you have like I have ADHD, so I don't know. No one in the family ever admits that they have had any kind of issue like that. And of course, you're going to inherit something like that. So ADHD would make it harder for you to enjoy things like that, because you have to sit for long periods of time. Sit for long periods of time, not doing anything, just watching and watching and watching. And it's like, like pro wrestling is anti-ADHD. It's actually, and the reason, okay, I was like, no, I want to eat the rest of the ghost. No, it's like, whoa, I actually see that here's a cutscene. And it was like one of the few times, in the early days where there was actually cutscenes in video games, sort of the beginnings of things. And yeah, and pro wrestling's very anti-ADHD because you get the right guys. There's a lot of psychology, there's selling, and I watched a match with, I think it was like Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle, and oh my goodness, it was a clinic of a match. Like, they just, Shawn was selling. I actually honestly believe Shawn Michaels' best stuff was in the 2000s, because a person would not believe that. They think that, oh, his back was shot. He can't be. And it's like, actually, no, I think because he wasn't, well, he was off the drugs. So he was off that junk. So he could focus more on the matches. He wasn't full time, going house show to house show. So he was generally in a better position, just to focus on these bigger matches. I thought his rivalry with Triple H was really good, actually. Well, we need to save this for the next show. People at home can keep watching. Understand when we say we'll see you next show, the footage keeps going for a little while. We just don't do. This show was different. We were gonna cut after 5 minutes. Frater. Yeah, but then all of a sudden you brought up the Saturn Grod thing, and it's like, oh yes, I can finally get out of character. Just talk about my projects. A lot of times and there's a lot I hold back because, the whole Saturn Grod thing has become, since I've been able to work from home, it's grown. It's grown a lot, and it's, I'll just kind of say, if you remember Raw versus SmackDown back in the 2000s, it's kind of going in that direction, and it's like, except, better booked, though. Back in those days, it wasn't really booked very well. Well, see you next show.
about Sateringrad Production. Welcome to Sateringrad Productions. We specialize in spiritual books, comic books and old public domain books that have long been forgotten. We also have done artwork for war history books and fiction-based works. We recommend our Ethiopic Holy Bible Volume 1 that is quite popular and attempts to bring the Book of Enoch back into the Bible's list of books. The Ethiopic Holy Bible Volume 1 also has a few selections from Josephus, a Jewish historian, and also the book has Jubilee and the Apocrypha, which is also available in Catholic Bibles. Frater, S.H. is an esoteric researcher who is out to reveal ancient knowledge, both known and forbidden. Frater, S.H. has appeared on Joshua P. Warren's Speaking of Strange, Kevin Smith's show, UFO Show, and Ghost Chronicles International with Ron Clark and Richard Felix, the historian from Most Haunted on the Travel Channel.